Welcome back to Mr. Gard's Maths Lessons. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at terminating decimals, recurring decimals, and how to round off decimals. So initially, terminating decimals. This is what we use to describe numbers like straight up 2.4. So 2.4 has no decimals after it apart from zeros. Another might be 1.25, 3.682, 4.009. These are all terminating decimals, as in they don't keep on going, like 1.5. A recurring decimal is one that goes on forever. For example, if you divide 1 by 3, so you go 1 divided by 3, you get an answer of 0.3333, and those threes go on forever. They never stop. Obviously, if you put it into a calculator, the calculator will have to stop at some point. The way we symbolize this to show someone that the answer isn't just 0.3333, we actually can put a dot above the number that repeats. So I can get rid of the rest of the threes. So by putting a dot above the 3 in 0.3, that's telling the reader that it goes 0.333333 forever. Another example is if, say, you have 5 divided by 3, that will equal 1.666. You might get the idea, goes on forever. If you put that in the calculator, eventually at the end of the calculator it will often say 7. Now that's not because the number terminates there, it's because the calculator rounds up, and so it's easier to round up to 67 because 6 is easier to round, or it's smaller to round up than it is to round down. So again, if I was going to actually write that, I would write it like that, 1.6. You might also get a number that goes something like this, 3.287, and so on. And it continues repeating. Now, unlike the 0.3 recurring and 1.6 recurring, there's this whole section that repeats itself. 287, 287, 287. So rather than putting a dot above it, we can actually put a line across all three numbers there to indicate that those three numbers repeat. A very common one is numbers that are divided by 7. Or not a common one, but numbers that are divided by 7 have a lot of repeating numbers. Worth maybe trying that out. If you try 4 divided by 7, see what happens. So the red information there, use either dots or a line above the recurring numbers. So as I've shown you in these examples. Right, moving on to rounding decimals. This is one that catches people out quite a bit. Often numbers can be given to us with lots and lots of decimals, and sometimes we just don't need all of those decimals. The first question is 3.91. Now that's just a number. It could be $3.91. But in this case, where in brackets it says 1 dp, just here, that means I want to know the answer to just one decimal place. So what we do here is we can circle the we can put a line down here because we want to know just to one decimal place. We don't really care about the hundredths position. Now what we need to do is we look at the number after that. We look at that number after the first decimal place and ask ourselves, do we round this number up or do we round it down? And our golden rule is if it's 5 or higher, we go up. If it's 4 or lower, we go down. Okay, so if it's 4, 3, 2, 1, or 0, we go down. If it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, we go up. So in this case, because it's a 1, we're going to go down. That means it's going to go down to 0. So our number is 3.9. Not 3.8, 3.9. Now, looking at the next question, if we follow the same principle, 2.815. Draw our line after the second decimal place, because we're looking for 2 decimal places. Now, circle the 5. Are we going to go up or down? Well, according over here, if it's a 5, we go up. So what that means is we now have 2.82. So we're going to take that 1 up. So it's closer to 2.82 than it is to 2.81. Well, it's actually exactly halfway between, but our golden rule is if it's halfway between, we go up. Another example is the one that I've just put in green. 2.995 rounded to 2 decimal places. So I'm going to put my line down after the second decimal place, circle my 5. Now because it's a 5, I'm going to go up, which means I need to take that 9 up. Now if I take that 9 up, do I have 2.90? Well, no, because that's not even close to the same number. Because that goes up to a 0, this one will go up, which will make this one go up. So it's closer to 3.00. Now I know those 2 decimal places are zeros, but the number 3.00 is the next kind of point up from 2.99. That can sometimes confuse people. Hopefully though, with those little examples, you can go back through them if you need to, but hopefully they will help with some of your understanding. Go and try some questions, because the more of these you do, the kind of second nature it will become for you. Thank you for listening.